cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Jeremy Lee in the building and every guest that you ever needed. Sports cards after hours keep the hobby heated. Updates, hobby talk like you never seen it. Sports cards live and none could ever beat it. Sports cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fanatics Collect Weekly Hockey Auction Ending Watch Party for December the 22nd, 2024. My name is Jeremy Lee, and I am joined by Josh Madigan of the Gong Show. Josh, it's been 2 weeks. How are you?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been 2 weeks already. It seems like it was yesterday we were doing this, but happy to be back.
Went by so fast. It feels like it was yesterday or last Sunday at the longest to go. But we have a fun show tonight. We got some good cards. We got some few things that I have my eye on. And how about you? Anything that caught your eye in particular in this auction?
Yeah, there's a couple things that I'm excited to talk about. And you get one thing I'll say about Fanatics, their weekly auction is it's never repetitive, right? We get different cards almost every week, and there's almost different themes to every week, and so. Yeah, excited just to get into them.
All right. Well, why don't we get into it then? Let's jump right in. Let's jump right into it. And we've got, I always find it hard to know how many. 24 on this page that we're watching, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 24. I think that's 39 items altogether. So maybe a little bit lighter on the items we're watching, but there's like 192 total cards at auction tonight. We're going to go by oldest first and kind of run through it that way. Let's say hello. Studio Sports is wishing you, Josh, a happy holidays and thanking you for keeping Fridays with Phil. He's also happy holidays to you, Phil. Does he think Phil's here? I'm a little confused.
I don't know. Phil's not here, but I'll pass it along to him. So thank you.
Thanks for keeping Friday with Phil on the rails. And then and as an afterthought, he's wishing me a happy holidays at the end of the comment. Maybe you're in the wrong chat here. I don't know, studio, but I always like seeing my old card in your avatar. Dave Marone, what's going on? Let's go, buddy. Good to see you. Todd McDonald, always a pleasure. MSG, what's going on? Good to see you. Laura, happy Christmas. Yes, thank you to you and everybody. Studio says, well, happy holidays, everybody. Louie, producer Louie in the house. What's going on? Jeff McMahon, hello and happy holidays. Kinger, happy Sunday, happy holidays, happy New Year. Ali, what's going on? Hey to you. All right, couple of Gordie Howes to start us off at the top here, and a Bobby Hall and a Stan Mikita, Gordie Howe, Phil Esposito, Hall, Mikita, or look at all this beautiful vintage Howe, Dion, Gretzky, Lemieux, Waugh, and then we get into the more modern stuff. So let's go back to the top here. And this 58 Topps Gordie, Josh, I love this card. Now, this copy, it's a BGS or a BVG 7.5. It does have the old PWCC above average eye appeal assessment, so top 30% of the copies. And this is a card I want to add to my collection, and I saw this copy. This looks pretty nice. It always makes you and me both laugh. I'm sure, Josh, the Topps misspelled his name or decided to just spell Gordie the way they wanted to back in 1958. It's also the same set as the Bobby Hull rookie, so that's a really cool pair of cards to put together in your collection. Now, for me, this one, this card, it looks amazing. I'm back. It looks amazing, right? It really does. The corners, the edges, the centering, all very nice. The one thing that I'm not sure about is the color. And when you look at it alone, it looks a little dulled out. So when I look at this Gordie Howe beside this Gordie Howe, even just on this screen right now, guys, the 59 looks so much brighter and bolder in color than the 58 does. And that's why I'm just not sure if this is an image issue. Is it it doesn't look faded. It looks darker. Can anyone in the chat speak to that? Or has anyone pulled up other copies of this? And even then it might be hard to tell because it could be a scanner setting issue. I'm not sure, but it's enough that it's keeping me from bidding on this card myself tonight.
I have an answer for you because I thought the same thing. And I just want to confirm one thing before. Does the cert number end in 290 on this?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so this card already sold on the Fanatics weekly in 2021. And the image there, the picture is a lot lighter. If you go like
really,
you would find it.
Let's go have a look. Let's see what. Okay, there it is. This one right here.
Yep, same card.
Ends in 290. Oh yeah, it's the same one. Okay, yeah, it looks
better in the other picture.
Here's the today's picture, and here's the last time we saw it sell. Just want to really, yeah, like that does look. That's dark. It's definitely the same card. We can tell the also the fisheye. Fisheye. There's several fisheyes here. They don't bother me. They're so small. So maybe like that, but you can see what I mean. This is a bit of a duller. The blues are duller. The red in his jersey is duller. His arms look like they are bending, especially his right arm looks like it's bending in just a way it shouldn't be bending. But this is nice. So then, okay, well, that alleviates my concern on the color. It does look good. Then my next, not concern, but, my Bobby Hull is in a PSA holder, so I would want my 58 Gordie Howe pairing them up to also be in a PSA holder, and this is in a BVG holder. So then the question for me, and this is what's going on in my head, is do I buy this one and cross it over or pay for a grade? I don't like to do that. I'd rather just buy it graded. Will it cross over? I don't even care what the grade comes back at. I could buy this 7.5 and it could come back at PSA 5. I'd still love the card because this is a really nice copy. But then I think about my Bobby Hull, Josh, like most of them, it's off center. Maybe I should just wait and find an off center Gordie Howe and pair those two. So we'll see how the night goes. But anyway, those are my thoughts on this Gordie Howe here. Anything? You already added a lot there, Josh, but anything else before we go to the next one?
Yeah, I do want to say something that, there are often or sometimes people make the correlation between sports cards and like modern art pieces. And to me, this is a card that reminds me of a painting. Like, and I think it's it's artistic and it's a work of art. It just the kind of with the background, the basically monochromatic, all red uniform almost by Gordie Howe. I just think that in a lot of cards in this set kind of fit that frame, but there's something that's simple about it. It's balanced, it's striking, and I would call this set one of the masterpieces from like a design perspective.
Yeah, I really like in its simplicity, right? Because all it is two, like two colors, different shades of blue in this on the Gordie in particular. The angle right down from corner to corner. I love it. I love it. I love it more than I love the 59 Topps design, which is pretty cool too, but I certainly prefer the 58. Here's a PSA 6 Gordie Howe. Let's take a look at this card as well, because the 58 sure is nice. The 59, this is nice too for a 6. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit off center to the left. It's got a little bit of like surface issues here, a little snow coming through, but edges and corners are all fine for the grade. Slight, blur on Gordie's face here, I suppose. Yeah, but overall, a nice looking copy for a 6 on the 1959. What's the next Gordie we have? Oh, all the way up to 65. So let's go ahead with the 61 Bobby Hull, which is a nice card as well. I love the 61s. It's a PSA 7 at $160. Looks good. It's off center, of course, to the left. Has some slight clockwise tilt, but looks like a nice copy overall. And then you can pair it with the Stan Mikita, second year Mikita right here. If you'd like in a PSA 5.5, it's off center, top to bottom, left to right looks really good at a measly $38. But again, I love talking pairings for whatever reason, and you could pair the Makita with the Bobby Hull, a couple of young Blackhawks back in their day. And Josh, I'll turn it over to you on those last three cards.
Yeah, they're all really interesting. I mean, I definitely prefer the 58 Howe to the 59 as well, just from an aesthetic perspective. But if you're collecting the player run, here's a pretty decent 6 copy. And the I guess that's what I have to say on that one. And then on the Hull and Makita, such an interesting set. I don't know if I've ever made up my mind.
I know.
61 top set.
I know.
There's hardly anything like it. It's kind of weird, especially the Makita, where he's like barely featured on the card.
Yeah, and it's so the small. Same. It's the same picture of him that appears on his 1960 Topps rookie card, which is against more of that like checkerboard, four spot checkerboard background. I also, this is not a design that I've like fallen in love with. You've got this mono background action shot with a floating player on top of it in both of these cases, actually, even though Bobby is a lot bigger than Stan is, which is weird. Like, why couldn't they made him bigger? Like, even put his leg under the hockey puck there. For Bobby Hull, they covered up part of his leg with the hockey puck, but Makita, they just didn't want to. It's very strange, isn't it?
Makita's really small in his rookie too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's kind of the same size, maybe the same. Yeah. Maybe this image wasn't scalable for some reason back in the day. All right, well, let's continue. We have a pair of 65s. Yeah, just the 2 65s, the Gordie Howe and the Phil Esposito rookie card in a PSA 5. Let's take a look at these cards. The Gordie Howe is a 7. This looks really nice. At first glance. I mean, look at the border is nice, bright and white. The edges and corners look great. Not perfect, but they look really good. The white border does make it harder to see, but I can tell in the top left corner there is a bit of stock showing through. But, that's going to do is save you money and probably not bother you too much. Centering wise, left, right is great. Top to bottom, a little bit low, but the color's good. This is a great copy. I really, really, really like this copy, and would advise anybody looking for a Gordie to strongly consider this one for their collection. And then we have the Esposito rookie in a 5. So this should be fun to look at. Okay, right away, centering, it's too high for my liking. The left to right, I could get around that. It is over to the right, but it doesn't bother me too much. But when you combine the off center to the right with the off center up high, I don't love it for me. That said, let's look at edges, corners, and print job. Edges and corners look good. Top right, obviously a slight rounding. Side edges look really good. Bottom edge looks good. Bottom corners have issues. Color's nice. Registration looks to be, really strong. Not perfect, but really strong. And it's really just the centering. So this is, you're probably going to get a good deal on this card tonight. $350, which is $420 with buyer's premium on 23 bids so far. It's an option to consider. Quick hellos to Pino Chiappetta. Good evening and happy holidays, my friend. Jacob Dahl, good to see you, pal. And the baseball card curmudgeon, welcome to the show as well. Josh, comments on Gordie and Phil?
Yeah, so on Phil, if you had to make an underappreciated Mount Rushmore, would he be on it?
Oh, like just for hockey cards?
Yeah, just 4 hockey players in the hobby, like the most underappreciated players in all the hobby.
Yeah, him, Marcel Dion, Dale Howard-Chuck, and Peter Stastny, I think, are would fit squarely on there, and I could think of a few others. I could go deeper if I had to. And does he fall in there for you?
Yeah, I mean, 700 some goals?
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean he's an all timer. He's absolutely. What's going on, Professor? Good evening. Dog food soup is here. Peeps. That particular Esposito, you mean the rookie Esposito, is impossible for centering. Yeah, very tough. Very tough. All right, we have a pair of 66s as well. Bobby Hull and Stan Mikita. We are seeing a bit of a trend in terms of the players that we're getting to look at here tonight. The Bobby Hull, they're both PSA 7s, both Chicago. Let's have a look at the Bobby Hull. Anyone working on the Bobby Hull run or a 66 set? This copy looks pretty good. It is sitting in the holder on an angle. It's slanted in the holder, which might throw you off. It threw me off at first, but I think that's the only thing going on. I don't think it's diamond cut, although the left edge seems to be, this might have some diamond cut going on, guys. And the reason I say that is the left edge seems to be straight in the holder. The right edge also seems to be straight in the holder. The gap between the right edge and the ridge inside the PSA slab seems to be consistent from top to bottom. Now, if the right edge and the left edge are perfectly straight, and I'm not convinced, like I said that, but I may be off by a bit, but if they are perfectly straight, yet the top and the bottom edge are on angles, that's an indication that the card could be diamond cut, i.e. a parallelogram, not a perfect rectangle with 490-degree angles. And that might be the case on this one. So buyer beware from that perspective. However, outside of that, edges, corners, color, centering, all looks pretty good. Look at the top border here. I think it gets wider as I move to the right. So, yeah, this card may have a sneaky issue being the way it's cut. So assess it accordingly. Josh, do you have anything to say? Am I off my rocker on that, or what are you seeing?
No,
here?
I think technically you're right. If this is a PC card and from an eye appeal perspective, it's very slight. And because like the TV screen, there's a lot of different kind of rectangular-ish shapes and rounded corners, and that I think it hides maybe whatever issue there would be. So yeah, I mean, it wouldn't bother me in my PC.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's good. I mean, if it is diamond cut, that would bother me. I don't want any diamond cuts in my collection. Dog Food here says the top left border is thinner than the right. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So he sees that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom's going to be harder to assess. Dave, good to see you. Dave says, I love the looks of the 68 tops. One of my favorites, 68 tops. Yeah, we haven't even looked. Yeah, I love 68 tops as well. He's talking about the Bobby Orr right here. Well, let's have a look at the Stan Mikita 7, and see if this looks any. I mean, look at how, this is perfectly square. I mean, I look at this card, Josh, and I think to myself, This is cut properly. If you guys are watching these cards, you look at this, it's a perfect rectangle. Whereas, did I close out the other one already? I think I did. Let's just bring it back open for a moment. This is something funky going on.
Yeah,
but
I
the
see it now.
Stan Mikita looks like this is a gorgeous copy right here. This is a great 7. They're both graded within the same, era. They're both starting with 2.8. So in any event, I love this Mikita. Comes with my complete blessing on edges, corners, centering, not perfect. It is off to the left a bit, but still really, what a great looking card. Like this is a really nice copy, guys. $130 for the 7. And then we have the 68, the third year Bobby Orr. This is a PSA 3. So let's have a look, because I actually looked at this card myself closer the other day, and there's a couple issues. It does have some tilt. You can just tell that, like, look at the bottom edge. It gets wide as you move to the left, and the top edge gets wide as you move to the right. The right border looks pretty good. The left border looks pretty good. Is this another case of diamond cut? It might be. It just might be. Look at the angle on this top border, how it kind of just goes up as you move to the right. And meanwhile, the left and the right edge seem to be standing up perfectly straight. Very similar to the Bobby Hull over here. So let's go back. Here we are. So that's an issue on this card. The other issue that you probably have all already noticed is this blemish coming off the top right here, right across the border. The top border there kind of drips down into the card as well. So it's a 3, and that's probably quite appropriate. But this isn't a copy I would be interested in for myself. But it's a nice low grade copy. Nice enough low grade copy for somebody who's okay with it, I suppose. Josh, any thoughts on that?
It's such a cool card. And yeah, it is a 3. And like we always talk about, if you're interested in a card at this level, my best advice is to look at as many 3s as possible, see the spectrum of conditions, and then figure out which ones have the flaws that you can live with in your collection.
Exactly. All right, let's move into the 68 O-Pee-Chee Gordie Howe. So that's interesting. This is a card from 68 O-Pee-Chee that is vertical versus horizontal. It's a PSA 9. It's just just look at the way they designed this card. On top of a yellow star on a baby blue background with other white stars going on, a green wavy banner on top for the All-Star, a big black chunk underneath it all, Gordie Howe forward. This card is it's a sign of the times, really. I look at it, I'm not struck by the beauty, the aesthetic beauty of the card, but it's the kind of card I think that grows on you the more you look at it. You're like, I like it in just how weird the design is. And then you look at this copy itself as far as condition goes. And this is a mint condition card. I mean, it's PSA says so. I think I'm saying so. The centering is pretty perfect. It's basically close to perfect centering. It isn't 100% perfect, but it's close to perfect. And the reason why I say it isn't 100% perfect is I look at the bottom corners, and I look at the angle. Let me zoom in. I look at the angle between this, if you guys can see my mouse, between this corner here and the corner of the black. And then I look at the angle here. And if you look at those, you can just tell that the left side is a little bit of a steeper angle than the right side. But if you aren't looking at that, you're probably thinking to yourself, this thing is just perfectly centered. It's 50-50. It's close, but it isn't exactly 50-50. It's amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm nitpicking. It's still beautiful. Edges and corners look great. The color looks really strong. Look at the black. It's pretty solid. So is the green. So is the red and the yellow, the blue. It's a pretty awesome card, actually. $450. That is $540 out the door right now. Josh, what do you think of, I said a lot on that card. What do you think of it?
I guess one thing I would add is that it's a pop 15 with I think 50, 15 0 graded higher out of 240, 32 graded.
So it's a tough card to get if you're working on the Gordie Howe, the complete run. This is a card you need. And I think we could see some action on this one still tonight because of that. We have a PSA 6 O-Pee-Chee Marcel Dion. You can tell it's got some centering issues, but they all seem to. But overall, at this angle, looks decent for a 6 for a Marcel Dion rookie card. And then we have not many Gretzkys, 2 Gretzkys, no O-Pee-Chees in the auction tonight. We have a PSA 7 Topps copy right here. Your typical, we'll look out for centering, check the corners. It's got a fisheye right over here. Oil drop is well placed. Color looks good on this one. And then a SGC authentic copy. Tough to say. Is it trimmed? I'm not sure. You'd think they would say evidence of trimming if it was. Is there something going on the back on this that they wouldn't give it a grade? No, doesn't seem to be. So not sure what's going on with that. It's sort of one of those mystery type of things where we just don't know why it is in the slab it is in. I'm trying to make this a little bit bigger. Okay. Josh, thoughts on the Gretzkys?
Yeah, I got to admit, I really don't understand completely SGC's sort of what authentic means. So that's probably something that I need to look into, and that would definitely scare me, my lack of knowledge, away from this one. But the card presents very nice, that's for sure. And then the 7 it's just that fisheye that I don't know if that bothers you. But it does, but it's right there we're talking about. Yeah, I mean, listen,
It's the one thing that would stop me. Like I would just personally, I would wait for a copy that doesn't have that. There are, we talk about how many Gretzkys do we talk about every month, Josh? And dozens, or at least a dozen anyway, more than a dozen. And you have so many options to buy a Gretzky rookie that you can be patient and wait for the copy that speaks to you. Maybe this is that copy for somebody, and maybe they'll get a bit of a discount because of that fisheye. I don't know if that's the case, but is
this an 8 without that fisheye, do you think?
I don't know. That's tough to say. No, I don't think so. No, those bottom corners are just showing a little bit too much stock to be an 8. So I'm going to say no to that. But all right, we have a Lemieux, a Topps PSA 8 Mario. Looks to have some centering issues, but I'm sure. Well, let's take a peek. I was going to say I'm sure it's nice, but I mean, how can I be sure it's nice without taking a look at it? It's got the centering issue. A little bit to the left, a little bit high, but it's a Topps 8 Mario. I don't have much more to add on that card. We have a BGS 9.5 O-Pee-Chee Patrick Waugh rookie card. Now I zoom in, and it's, say what you will about all the problems Beckett has. The one problem to me that is maybe the biggest is that just the quality of the plastic in their slab is garbage. And I say that very aggressively because look at all these scuffs on it. Like, and that you could say, oh, it's the way the person treated it. I see this more with Beckett slabs than anything else. And they just come out of the grading box when you get them back cloudy a lot of the time. And it just pisses me off that that's the case. But that's got nothing to do with the card itself. It grades out a 9.5 here. Let's look at the back just to see if it has subs. It does have subgrades, 9.5s across the board, except for surface, which is a 9, which does call into question that maybe some of this is surface issues on the card and not the holder, but I see other evidence of it being on the holder. So it's a 9.5. It's got the little black dot, which some people are adamant about having. See right here, Josh, on this blue stripe, you've got this lightning here, and you've got it over here, and you've got it over here. Like, I think that's the holder. I think that's the holder and not the card. Like, same with this going on right here under the O-Pee-Chee logo. Like, that is either on the holder or the card. I can't imagine it's on the card. So this is one of those cases where you might purchase this card and you might, want to get it reslabbed for $5 or whatever Beckett charges. What do you think?
Do you assume this is a sheet cut card, given that the one knock is the surface?
No, I need to look at it really closely.
Would that bother you having, like, if you have a Waugh? I'm sure you do have a Waugh rookie, but
I don't actually. I used to.
Would you not want a sheet cut, or do you not care?
Oh no, I certainly would not want a sheet cut. Certainly would not want a sheet cut. How about you?
I would want pack both. Yeah, but I don't though believe that sheet cuts are not authentic rookie cards. I prescribe to the fact that they were produced at the time that every other card was and just cut later.
Yes, I completely agree with that comment. It is definitely an authentic rookie card. It's just wasn't cut at the factory. It was cut by someone outside of O-Pee-Chee at the time. Not saying this one was. I don't know about this one, but a lot of people assume if it's in a Beckett slab, it's sheet cut and not pack pulled, but that may or may not be the case. Quick hello.
And when you get the lowest grade being the surface, right? Because that it would have been.
That's from it being rolled up and all that. Hello to Kevin Hawthorne from Lakeland, Florida. Orlando, welcome to the show. Thank you for stopping by. All right, we've got some modern stuff now, Josh. We have a Wayne Gretzky 2012 exquisite autograph out of 10. Team Canada, it looks like here. Team Canada jersey, Team Canada image in the background. I don't know that I've really seen this card before. It comes from 2012 Exquisite Basketball, and maybe that's why. Team Canada Sports Signatures 2012 Basketball, Josh. What do you know about this card, if anything? I sort of put you
Don't
on the
know
spot.
anything about it. Didn't really look into it. I don't, it's not like the aesthetic of a card that speaks to me. So I didn't look into it much, but that's very interesting that it came from basketball.
Yeah, it is. It is. I wanted to take a peek at the autograph. Let's just blow up the front here. Take a look at the auto. Look at the autograph. I mean, that thing is pretty perfect. Nice and dark black. I prefer blue autos for me as far as Sharpie goes, but that one looks pretty good on there as well. Now, this is cool. 2013 Select, Panini Select, Black Prism 1 of 1, Brian Leetch. I mean, that's, Brian Leetch, Stanley Cup champion, one of the best defensemen of all time, often forgotten, often not mentioned in those who's the best D-man of all time conversations. And he should be in that conversation with the Coffees, Borks, and Lidstroms and Niedermeyers. He's part of that discussion. I deliberately omit Bobby Orr and Cale Makar because they're like the bookends, kind of the outliers. Let's eliminate the outliers and stick with the core guys. He's part of that core group. Maybe put Chara in there too. A great player. And this is his 1 of 1 from 2013 Panini Select Black Prism. So a pretty cool card for about $275 right now out the door. And then a rookie year enshrinements Connor McDavid auto from the Cup. PSA 8, Pop 3, 5 graded higher at 2,300. Josh, love to hear your thoughts on this Select Black Prism and the McDavid.
I'm not the biggest Brian Leetch guy, but those Select Black Prisms are so nice. The right player, holy moly, would love to. And as 1-on-ones, I don't know if we've ever seen one in doing this show so far.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I would, for the right player, I would go all in for something like that. It's a very, very good looking card.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Is.
And then on the McDavid, interesting card. Is that an acetate? Do you know what kind of card that is?
Yeah, it's a top layer acetate on cardboard. Like it's a thick card. It's going to be acetate on top with some foil. Maybe I think it's like a thin layer of acetate on top of the card.
Do you give streaks and autos that are on acetate a pass for that because it's so very common on acetate? Or no? Or
pass? It's a great question. I think I give it a bit of a pass, but it's not going to stop me from assessing the autograph and being like the pass I'm giving is to the athlete and the manufacturer. In that case, I'm going to give you guys a pass. The manufacturer because they're using beautiful acetate. The athlete because it's more slippery when you're signing. There's not as much friction there, right? So I'm giving them a pass. Am I going to give it a pass into my collection? Probably not. Probably not. I'm very particular on autographs, Josh. I want no fade. I want good hard, contact with the Sharpie on the surface. So this one though, I do see the streaks you're talking about, and this one, I don't mind. I don't mind it actually, because you do have like solid blue on either side of the streak in a way. It's not like it fades altogether or it's that bad, but luckily for me, this isn't a card that I covet, so I don't need to worry about it. But how about you?
Have you seen one of these in hand?
Yes.
Oh, the other thing I'm curious about is I haven't. So with the photo, I would guess there's a chance that the rainbow foiling really pops in hand on this. It looks a lot better in hand.
Yes, I believe that they do. Terp says, if you want no fade, bright and clear on an autograph, you are going to pay a premium. I don't know. Not really, Terp. I mean, maybe in some cases, but maybe on this card you're talking about. But in general, I don't find that at all. In general, I don't think well, listen, it depends how you look at it. I'm going to say, I don't think you're paying a premium for a perfect autograph. I think you're getting a discount for a faded autograph. So in that case, yeah, you're paying a premium over a faded autograph. And if that's what you're saying, then sure. But that's kind of a backwards way of looking at it. I don't think you're really paying. I think you're paying, although you look at like the Sidney Crosby Cup RPA, especially the gold, where so many of those are faded, you might have to pay, you're going to pay a premium for that because the population of good autos is like really low. Out of 87 cards, maybe only half are still holding up with a good auto. So you may pay a premium there. But if you talk about a card like a Sign of the Times, Mike Modano, I don't know, he comes to mind, and they made 100 of them and they all have a great autograph, you're not paying a premium on that. You're paying whatever you're going to pay. They're just normal value, I would think. These Artifacts Honored Members cards, Josh, I don't know if you're familiar with these, but they're awesome. Do you remember these? No. Yeah. So these came out, 2015. I think they came out in more than 1 year. Then they made black ones. But there were a lot of people, Josh, that were collecting these. This was a very popular set to chase. 27 copies were made. You had the memorabilia, like the game used relic version, which had sticker patch. And then you had the autograph version, which didn't have sticker patch. And they were very popular. For a player collector, this is a card that most player collectors want in their collection. And this is that's why, I remember the fervor that these cards created, and there's some awesome pieces. I have a Howard Chuck and a Solani in my personal collection as, a player collector, and I'm a player collector of those two guys, but it's not like I don't have hundreds of cards, my Solani collection is maybe 30, 40 cards. My Howard Chuck's maybe 100, and I'm very selective, but this card makes it into my collection, my player collection for these. And here's a Marcel Dion for, $62, $75 or so right now. The grade doesn't matter. It really doesn't impact. This is not really an important card to grade. I don't think it's going to get you any bit more than you would have gotten if this card was simply raw. But after all that, Josh, I want to give you a moment to talk about that before we go to the next two, or just react.
I'm actually kind of becoming more and more a fan of stick relics. And what I love about this particular card is that you can definitely tell those are game used sticks. Like there's battle damage on them, and that is pretty amazing.
Yeah, very cool. 2015 Upper Deck Contours, Connor McDavid rookie patch auto. I don't consider this is not a patch in hockey talk anyway. This is a jersey, and even Beckett says McDavid jersey auto, but Fanatics Collect says rookie patch auto, and that just must be how they do it. They just must refer to any patch off of a garment, whether it's from the seam or just the napkin area or a logo. They call it all patch. Yeah. But we in the hobby, if you know that this is not a patch card. This is a jersey card, and there is a difference that way. So be aware of that. Kind of cool. This is numbered to Michael Jordan's jersey number, 23 of 199. Let's take a look at the auto as well. Auto looks good. No complaints on the autograph. It's an interesting die cut pattern. Not my favorite die cut. Corners do have some issues and are appropriately graded as an 8. So, but listen, this is going to be a much more affordable rookie year Connor McDavid RJA rookie jersey auto. Josh, thoughts on that card?
I think you laid it out there perfectly.
Thank you. And then a 2015 Upper Deck Premier Ink Script Mark Messier out of 25. What I like about this is the inscription, and I'm not usually an inscription guy, but a card that is meant to have an inscription where the card itself is called, like it has the inscription in the name of it. This is an inked script auto. That means, they meant for these to be inscribed, versus the Future Watch autos where the first 50 have an inscription. That doesn't do it for me as much. This is awesome. And especially since not many players can say 6 times Stanley Cup champion, but Mark Messier can. The 7 grade is a non-issue. This card would probably do better raw at auction, to be honest. But that's pretty cool. What do you think of all that? The inscription. They left enough room for his autograph and the inscription as well. What do you think?
Oh, I'm a huge inscription fan. Yeah. And it's fun to see. Yeah. I call Mark Messier the ultimate hobby buddy because it seems like every single one of his auto cards is typically with somebody else, right? It's Mark Messier and Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier and Yari Curry. So to get a Messier solo auto with, and heck, if I won the Stanley Cup 6 times, I think I would write that on my card too.
Yeah, there you go, right? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? All right, 3 more on the first page here. An CGC 10 Connor McDavid Young Gun, Pop 13. It's at $1,000, guys. That's $1,200. His PSA 10s are doing, I think, about $2,500. So right now, for 50% discount, you are going to get a CGC McDavid Young Gun, and it's a Gem Mint 10, just like a PSA 10. Now, I don't have much experience assessing CGC as far as how good they are at grading because there just aren't a lot of cards in their slabs, and I don't own a single one at this time. No, I don't have a single CGC card under my ownership right now. And but their slab is nice. It's, of the human grading, it is easily the nicest slab going. So that's something to consider. But then the other thing to consider is that if this doesn't jump to like 1,800 pre-buyer's premium, you're going to get a good deal at this. And if you're one of those people who wants to play the, crack and resub to PSA game, this might be an option for you. I'm not encouraging or discouraging that. I just know that it goes on. So there's that, Josh. What do you think of the CGC 10 McDavid?
I'm of the belief that they're pretty good graders, that they grade just as well as anyone else. And their brand power, of course, is in TCG, and they don't have a lot of experience, as far as experience, meaning they haven't done a ton of volume in sports. And I think it's really interesting at $1,000 right now. Of course, like you said, you have to buy the card, not the grade, do your own assessment. And if you feel that that's on par with what a PSA 10 would typically be, you're right. I mean, it's a 50% discount right now.
Exactly. And, you mentioned you're of the belief that they are, good graders over there. Well, when they started their sports card grading, they nabbed 2 of the most prolific graders from Becca Grading and brought them over there. So I have no question that they are good graders over there. At least the 2 guys leading the teams. I can't speak for who they've hired since, or even if those 2 guys whose names are just escaping me right now, but they've been on the show way back. If they're, how their teams are doing as far as grading goes. But listen, it comes down to who's training you and how much time do you get trained, and that's a whole other discussion. Upper Deck O-Pee-Chee Glossy Jack Hughes Copper. So Josh, this is a PSA 10. It's $18. It's a Jack Hughes rookie. O-Pee-Chee Glossy Copper. Is that a parallel to the Glossy?
Yeah.
Okay. Pop 11, $18. I mean, that's way lower than his Young Guns Pop, which is probably one of the top 5, top 3, even highest gems out there. What do you think? Like, is this not a steal of a card right now?
Yeah, it is it's a good value for the card. It's a great, if you're, entry level Jack Hughes rookie, it's a nice looking card. And I think that it's a little bit emblematic of this, what I call the junk variety era that we're kind of in now, and we have been in for a number of years, and that it's a cautionary tale where when you're the hot rookie, don't overspend on cards that won't have a ton of legs. But I don't know. I think this is a really nice Jack Hughes rookie card.
And you just by definition cannot overspend on this card right now at $18. So
yeah, absolutely.
Right. Yeah. And then we have a Jack Hughes Upper Deck Premier Rookie Patch Auto, a true patch here, not a jersey, out of 99, PSA 8, Pop 2, 1 higher. This is a great card, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you compare it to, okay, first of all, compare it to his Young Gun. There's way more. And what is Young Gun PSA 10 is doing? What, about $200 right now? Something like that, yeah. I believe. Now for, it's apples and oranges because this isn't a Young Gun. It is an autograph. It is a patch. but it's very nice. And his cup RPA out of 99, do you know what that's going for, Josh? It's got to be
it's got to be 2.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say 2, north of 2, I was going to say.
2,500 maybe.
Here also at a 99, an RPA for, maybe a quarter of the price. So there can be some good value in Upper Deck Premier, and it is a beautiful card and brand as well. Anything to add to that, Josh? Anything there?
I think Premier RPAs are super slept on. I really, 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 if you think about what are the best RPAs? You got the Cup RPA, you got Exquisite, you got Ultimate, right? And then maybe the Flop, right? And then this one.
And the Ice Premier. Yeah. But those are like limited logos in that they're not true rookies, whereas this is. But to me, it's all one and the same personally. But I know many people look at that differently. So yeah, I think you're right though. Slept on because they're so aesthetically pleasing.
They're cool,
at least to my eye. Okay, before we go to this page 2, I'll go to it. We'll scroll up. I want to do some comments here, guys. Chirp says, I love the usage on the stick. I think that's a Marcel Dion. Kareem Pies, I'm not a big fan of the tiny patches or relics. Need to be a bigger part of the card. Yeah, see, not me, Kareem Pies. I actually look at the overall design and aesthetic of a card. And some of my favorite cards where I'm even collecting the patches have small patch windows. I don't mind that as long as they use it well. And so not me, but hey, all the power to you. There's plenty of options for both. Ali says, I've been getting disillusioned with patch cards. There is a 2015 McDavid Exquisite patch on eBay, and the patch looks like a 3 or an 8. Can't possibly be worn by McDavid. Yeah, what you're missing, Ali, is that they, at the rookie photo shoots, at least historically, they will get these guys to put on jerseys that aren't exact replicas of what they wear on the ice. So it's not just going to be like with McDavid a 97 and McDavid on the back. They will actually put additional letters on the jersey. We've seen that. You could even have bought some of those jerseys in before Upper Deck got their hands on them. There was a guy at the National used to sell off some of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Actually, I'm sure some of you guys know what I'm talking about. You would have seen them. Josh, you were just at the rookie photo shoot. I don't know if you were there the whole time or if you were there at the right time, but did you ever see the players wearing their jerseys that were going to end up in cards? And did you notice anything funny about them?
Not in that regard. The one comment that I'll add to this, then I'll share a little anecdote from the rookie showcase, is that what I've heard is that 88 has the most surface area for patches. And so that's one that they'll throw on. They'll just make a bunch of 88 Oilers jerseys and have McDavid wear those. The funny kind of jersey anecdote is one of the rookies that we got to interview was Josh Doan. And it was the first unveiling of the Utah Hockey Club's jerseys. They had never been in public before. And they were working on it so last minute that they had glued his shoulder patch on, and it was peeling off because the glue didn't stick with it. They didn't even have time to sew it on. And so, yeah, to your point, it's things get a little, made for Hollywood in those kind of settings. But I think that they would take them into rooms, they had small rooms where they would do stuff like have them wear 1 million jerseys and stuff like that.
Yeah. And probably didn't let visitors see it, but yeah, I've seen it. And what they'll do is they'll put 2005 NHL draft in patches on the jersey itself. They're just, again, and smart by them, get more patches, less jersey pieces that are going to end up in cards. So Ali, listen, it's probably not a gamer that you were looking and not a game used patch. So I wouldn't be too disillusioned. Just know that, they add patches to the photo shoot jerseys. So they are not exactly like you see them wearing, on the ice. Turpin Forrester said,
sorry, Jeremy, I just want to make one more comment because I think you fall in this vein. I think this is why a lot of very seasoned collectors, one reason why they don't collect RPAs, why they would rather have a second year limited logos than maybe now the value is going to stay in the rookie because it's a draw of a rookie card, right? But yeah, I mean, there's special effects that go on to make these rookie patch autos that are made before a lot of these guys have hit the ice in their jersey.
Yeah. No, yeah. For me, second year limited logo, second year from SP Authentic limited auto patches. So the second year of the FWAP or the SPAFWAP and whatever it's called, the SPAFWAP, the second year of those, like I love that stuff because you're getting game used. You're not getting photo shoot. Now, a lot of people don't care. They just, it's a patch. It's nice and colorful. They don't care if, they feel, oh, it's great. At least the player wore it. Good. Spend all your money on that. Leave the game worn stuff cheaper for me and people who like that. You're doing me a great favor, actually, by spending more money on that stuff. And that's great. But the other thing is that rookie cards generally have more value. So I lose out there, but I'm okay with that. Terp says, that's what I noticed, Josh, the usage on the stick. Marcel Dion, he says, I like Mark a lot. Messier, I wish his cards were worth more. I mean, they used to be Terp. There used to be a guy named Fawad who was the leader of the Mark Messier player collector group, and he got out of the hobby altogether, and immediately Messier's cards came down in value. It didn't, like all of his modern stuff. Dog Food, just think if he hadn't stopped playing hockey for 3 years between stints with the Rangers, he could have had more than 6 cups. Hello, Michael. Linda's first. Good to see you. Terp says that's cheap. I'd buy that and crack it. That's me. I forget what card that is, but yeah. Oh, James says, maybe Terp was talking about the McDavid CGC. James Wynn says $1,000. Always buy the card. Yeah. Let's see if I wonder if that's gone up since we talked about it. It's only $25. Still a great deal there. Dog Food, questioning the time around the holidays. Is it a good time to be buying right now? I think it probably is. If you're paying attention to cards, now could be a good time to be buying. You might find some deals out there. Terp says, Christmas. There's Christmas bonus money out there as well. Maybe it's still to come. Okay. Oh, wait. Whoa. Lots of comments here. Future Watch. Kareem, those are nice. Needs a real piece, not a micro piece. You bet, Ali. You bet. Linda says, you're speaking of the rookie showcase where they put the players on the ice wearing all kinds of jerseys, including NHLPA, then take photos. For what it's worth, Crosby, Ovechkin, and Phaneuf, I believe, have game-worn patches on their 0506 Cup RPAs. No, I don't think Phaneuf does. I think it's Crosby, Ovechkin, and Mikko Koivu from 2005 that do. I don't think Phaneuf's is, but I could be wrong. It might be. As well. CC, welcome to the show. Good evening. Some limited logo rookie year cards are game used. Some rookie year, and that's great. But you're gonna pay the premium. But if you go second year, you're gonna get a real good deal there. At least bang for your buck. But I think you're right about that as well, CC. I know you are. Many limited logo rookie year cards are game worn, is what I've heard. LGC official NHL game worn chest patches are the big chase for me. Very cool. Yeah, that's amazing. LGC. You find a lot of that in SP Game Used Supreme patches. That's a set that's kind of slept on as well. And I knew there were 3 and 2 were sitting. Okay, well then it is not the Phaneuf, but it is the Mikko Koivu as well. Just a random guy they happened to get the jersey for. Okay, Josh, we have a couple of Gretzky autos in this second page here with a Quinn Hughes PSA 10 Young Gun in the middle at $250, which is $300 for the Quinn Hughes. Josh, that feels high to me right now. This feels strong, but I don't know. I mean, being a defenseman, but he, if it isn't Cale Makar, it's Quinn Hughes, captain of the team. Is that higher than we've been seeing lately? Do you know?
I can look it up quick, but I'm a big Quinn Hughes stan, Jeremy, and I asked this question on our podcast, and I'll ask you, is he the best hockey player in the Hughes family?
Oh man, right now, yes. I'm going to say yes right now. And defenseman, it's a bigger job, being a defenseman that has good offensive skills, can run a power play, can see the ice, good outlet passes, can, and then can play defense as well. It's a tough job. They have to play a 200-foot game more so than anybody else on the ice. Goalies don't count, of course. So he may be the better player than Jack, but Jack's great too. And that just, that may mean that they're both, really good players relative to their peers.
It's a little higher than it's typically been selling in the 190, 180 range. So it is a little bit close to where Jack has been. The one thing about Quinn Hughes that blows me away, and I say this all the time, go back and look at his career trajectory, and he's had more points every year. Now, there's the bubble season, but he still had a very high point per game average, so you have to kind of discount that, but he's getting better every year in the league.
Well, and Linda here says, don't sleep on Luke. He might have a Norris or two in his future. Yeah, he's going to have to beat out his brother Quinn, who so far is the better of the two, but he's also a bit older. So you got time for Luke to mature as well. Okay. Couple of Gretzky autos. First up is this Black Diamond, pure black. The auto looks perfect. Let's just get a zoom in here. Yeah, I mean, what a great auto. It is on a sticker, but it's nicely blends into the card design. It's a cool design. It's just a raw card, but it's an authentic. It's in a semi-rigid holder here, but that's a beautiful card. To me, sitting at $410. And then we have the enshrinements from 2019. Wayne Gretzky out of 25. This is on card. Let's have a look at this autograph. $500 right now. Also just raw. Autograph looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. No real, there is a little streak going on here, something going on right here, but overall, a very, excuse me, a very presentable Gretzky auto. Josh, what are your thoughts on these two Gretzky autos?
Yeah, the one thing I'll say about the Black Diamond is, as much as I'm not a sticker auto fan, I appreciate how they designed this card to minimize the, that it just doesn't look like a sticker. Like you can barely tell that there's a sticker on there, where a lot of sticker autos, it kind of wrecks the card, the sticker itself in a way. It makes the card less attractive. And so good job on Upper Deck in this case. And it's kind of a cool card. Are you a vertical auto guy?
I mean, I don't consider myself an auto, if you're asking me if this card would be welcomed into my collection while the card and the player are pictured vertically and then the autograph is kind of standing up on its head, am I okay with that? Mm-hmm. Like the 0607 limited logos kind of thing, where the autograph is on the side and the players, I'm okay with it. That is not a reason for me to completely, just not want to collect a card, or a player, a card from a set. I'm not going to exclude them. I wouldn't just immediately exclude this from consideration because of that. I think it looks fine. Yeah, but
I like the other Gretzky auto too. It's a cup auto. It's on acetate again, tiny bit streaky, but pretty good for acetate, as we've covered.
Yeah. I think those are some fine. These are both nice cards. This one just jumped from 500 to 700. We have 20 seconds left, guys. Cards are about to end. Let's see here what's going on. The Hughes and this Gretzky are about to end. So anything with red, this McDavid's about to end, as is the Bedard, this Crosby, which is a PSA 10 medallion out of 100. Looks like that just sold. Let's see. Let's let this update quickly while we're here. Is it over? Yes. Sold for $210, $480 on this Bedard Young Gun Canvas PSA 10. What else sold? The Outburst PSA 9 Draft Bedard does $126, and all three here have sold. The Outburst Young Gun PSA 10, 1,500, Josh. I feel like last time we talked about it, it was
2,100, I think, like 21, 2,200, something like that.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like it was 2,100 or so. And now today we see one selling for 15, which is 1,250 plus the buyer's premium, $1,500 now for the Outburst. I mean, that's just now might be the best time ever to buy Connor Bedard. I see it coming down. I see his cards coming down further. Look at this. We're under $600 on a Young Gun PSA 10 now. Two of them under 600. My prediction is $400 by the end of the year, the end of the season on the Bedard Young Gun. Now, of course, if he hits a hot streak and all of a sudden like levels up his game, I'm going to be wrong. But if he plays the way he can, if he continues to play the way he's been playing this season, he stays at that same points and goals pace. I'm calling $400 by mid-April on his card, and then maybe even lower in the summer because they're not going to make the playoffs.
It's a two-part problem. He hasn't played as well as people expected him to. Better of late. The last week or two has been pretty good for him.
3 points against Winnipeg. Yeah,
I think his pace now is something like 17 goals.
I mean, Calgary.
Points. Yeah, 17 goals, 70 points, something like that. It was worse. The other problem is where his pricing was at, he would have had to have 200 goals to justify it. I mean, it's just so out of whack with, anything. And so when those worlds collide, this is what happens.
Exactly. This is not news. I mean, we've been talking about these cards since they came out. And if you've been listening to what I've been saying, and Josh as well, I'm sure, you don't own one of these yet. And you're very, and if you took our advice, you're thanking us right now, and we're happy to provide that guidance. We have the 2023 Upper Deck game dated moment Bedard McDavid, a Bedard rookie card. Fanatics is calling it. PSA 10 at $60. This does have a gold version as well. I think there's 100 copies produced of the gold. Pretty cool card. I love it. I have a gold copy. Don't have a silver copy, but they are pretty cool. Here's anything to add to that, Josh?
Nope.
2022 Metal Universe PMG Red, Sidney Crosby, PSA 8, Pop 2, none higher. I really like the looks of these cards for the most part. One thing I like about him is Josh, do you see this? Like there's this like oval around him. It reminds me of the 0506 Future Watch auto card. So I like that. It feels familiar. What I don't like is just the way the oval cuts off the bottom of the legs. They could have left the legs on there on this, at least on these PMG parallels to the base. Despite that, I still think it's a really cool looking card. $260, numbered out of 100.
Yeah, it's sort of a theme in 2022. The Fleer Ultra set just came out, and the medallions have the same, like chopped off at the knees sort of design to them. Yeah,
there's a serial right there, 17 of 100, sitting there at the top. I couldn't see it at first. What else is okay? The Kaprizov. Actually, this is the, if you look to the very bottom right of your screen right now, everybody, you will see that exact image of Kaprizov on your screen right beside use code SCL. Oh, and by the way, the affiliate code is pinned to the top of the chat. If you would be so gracious to click on that before you bid on any cards, that would help support the channel. Really appreciate it. But Josh, this to me is his best rookie card. Kaprizov's. It's out of 99. It's on card auto. It's Upper Deck Ultimate. It's beautiful. I mean, this is a buy, you guys, in my opinion. And Kaprizov is proving to be a top tier player. That said, Josh, I don't know if you noticed that he made our thumbnail today in the bottom right corner of our screen.
Appreciate it.
Whenever I can, I try to give Minnesota a bit of love for the Gong Show. Your thoughts on this card and my statement that it might be his best rookie card?
That's a great card. I love it. Extra significance because a lot of his key rookie autos and RPAs had stickers that year. And so this must have been signed before the issues arose around that. And so more so than maybe other players in other years, it makes this one a little bit more important, I think.
Exactly. Because so many others are sticker auto. That's the exact reason why I make that comment. This SP game used banner year McDavid patch auto at a 25 sells for $324. Is it a patch or what is it a patch? I have to ask myself the question because I want to inform the audience. Even though it's sold, I still want to inform. These are jerseys. I don't think that's patch. Oh, this is actually, is it even jersey? When they use the term, jersey banner, this is jersey up here. This is from a banner, some sort of banner, guys. So it's not patch, it's jersey banner. But I think Fanatics just has a rule across the board that they call everything that is not stick, basically a patch. They'd probably call sock patch as well. Like if you're buying a Pelle Lindbergh kind of card sort of thing. Okay, so there we go. The Gretzky Enshrinement Auto sells for $840. The Hughes Young Gun does $300. The Gretzky Black Diamond $492. These have all sold. The Crosby $240 on the PMG, $720 here on the Kaprizov Ultimate, $325 on the McDavid, $210 on the Platinum Medallion or the Platinum Medallion Crosby. This one is still alive at $280, $480 on the Bedard Canvas, $360 on the Bedard Speckled Rainbow Foil. Draft card, the Outburst does $126, the Outburst Draft. We're still alive here on the game dated moments, and these ones we all addressed already. If we go back to the first page and scroll to the top, let's see what has sold. $810 on the Gordie Howe from 58, $288 on the 59 Gordie Howe, $234 on the Bobby Hull. These have all sold. $56 on the Nice Stan Mikita, $250 on the Gordie, $430. Still alive though, $430 on the Phil Esposito PSA 5 rookie card, $228 on the Bobby Orr PSA 3 that we suspect is diamond cut, $325 on the Bobby Hull from 66, $540 on the really interestingly designed Gordie Howe 68 O-Pee-Chee. The Marcel Dion PSA 6 rookie sells for $126. The Topps PSA 7 Gretzky, a hair under $2,000 at $1,950. Oh, look at this. The Authentic is still going at $330. PSA 8 Topps Mario Lemieux rookie sells for $300. And the BGS 95 O-Pee-Chee Patrick Waugh sells for $1,650. $2,880 on the McDavid rookie year enshrinements. $540 on the exquisite basketball Wayne Gretzky Team Canada auto. Brian Leach Select Black Prism 101 still alive at $340 right now. $75 on the Marcel Dion honored members. $192 on the Messier 6-time champs inscription. The jersey auto rookie McDavid still at $8.25 from Contours. And these three are still going, but we have a minute left to get a bid on the Jack Hughes Premier RPA and just over a minute left to get a bid on the Jack Hughes O-Pee-Chee Glossy Copper in order, PSA 10, in order to go to the next 5-minute window. Josh, anything to jump in with before we go to comments?
No, go ahead. Go right to comments.
Mr. Manos, good evening and welcome to the show. Turban Forcer does it right, says, yep, I buy in production of the athletes, not hype. Now, here's a question, Josh. Is Turban Forcer in the majority of the hobby that you see or the minority of the hobby that you see right now?
Oh, the minority by a landslide. And that's part of what drives the economy of the hobby is the notion of, can I get on it's like everyone wants to get on the ground floor of a stock, right? When it's worth $10 and then it goes up to 1,000. It's the same with hockey players, right? You want to, Connor McMichael's having a good year. Is he going to be the next Jack Hughes? Right? I mean, that's what everyone wants to find, that guy. And the reality is, and I don't know if it's good or bad. I think it's actually kind of unfortunate. There's not that many bankable hobby stars. There's like as many fingers as you have. That's how many, if your goal is to make money long-term in the hobby, I would probably restrict my buying to 10 or less players. That's just the reality of the situation. It's the GOATs. They're the blue chips. They're the Apple stock that's already sky high, right? And
yeah, there is that next layer too, though, right? Because you're talking GOATs, I think Gretzky and Lemieux. I'm thinking 80s right now, 80s into the 90s, right? I think Gretzky and Lemieux, 80s, 90s, guys, 80s, 90s, Gretzky, Lemieux. But then you've got that next level of Yzermans and Medanos and Sakic's and Forsbergs and Solanis and Lidstroms, right? Now, not that they get the hobby love, but some of them really do. Yzerman, Sakic, Medano, Forsberg, even Solani. These guys get their fair share of hobby love.
Has to be the right card, though.
Also, has to be so much more affordable.
Yeah, has to be the right card for those guys.
Has to be the right card?
Yes. More so for like a Solani or Yzerman. It depends. It's more dependent. If you get the right card, then yes, there'll be a big chase. And because the overall market is just smaller for them. And so more of the fluff cards aren't going to get.
Yeah, smaller than Gretzky for sure. Even Lemieux falls into that next layer as far as the hobby goes, but production and skill, he's up there with Gretzky. So yeah. Well, Terp, I think you're in the correct minority. I like to think I'm down there in that minority with you. So Michael says Bedard's problem is the last two so-called generational players, Sid and McDavid. So Crosby and McDavid both scored 100 plus points in their second season and both also won the Hart, while Connor Bedard is having a sophomore slump. To which Gord Fortunato says, Merry Christmas, Jeremy. Merry Christmas, Gord. Good to see you, buddy. If you're still
can I add a comment to that last comment about Bedard?
Yeah. I was going to come back to it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I went through every legendary hockey player I could think of had never scored less than 20 goals in a season. Find one.
Yeah. Bedard, it's interesting. I mean, at this point, I think we'll be happy if he turns out to be like if he can be a Johnny Gaudreau, rest in peace. If he can, is he going to be Cole? And I'm going with the small guys. Is he going to be Cole Caulfield? Cole Caulfield's a great player. He'd be like, the Blackhawks would be happy if he was a Cole Caulfield. They'd like him to be a Connor McDavid, but I don't think he's got that. I don't think he's not the right player to be a Connor McDavid. I don't think he's the right player to be a Sidney Crosby. Is he going to be Cole Caulfield, the Johnny Gaudreau, maybe like a Taves or even a Kane? I know they're different players, but they have the same sort of stature for the most part. That'd be great. But those guys don't get generational money like McDavid and Crosby do. And Ovechkin, for that matter. Look at even Austin Matthews. Right market gets good money for his cards, but he's not up there with the Crosbys and McDavids, at least, card for card. And
I'm not a Bedard hater. I mean, the best thing I love the hobby. Best thing for the hobby would be for him to have 70 goals right now. That would be amazing. Yeah. And I would root for that. So I'm not rooting against him. It's just that the signs, you have to be real. And the signs today are not good. Now, is it a closed book? No. Could he go on a tear? Of course. Do I hope that happens? Yes. But all we can react to is what we're seeing and what's happening. And this year hasn't been good.
Exactly. And that's just it. I hope he becomes the next Connor McDavid. That would be fantastic. That'd be fantastic. I've got my Bedard card in my collection. I'm happy with it. And if it turns into, actually, I got two now with that gold game dated moment. So, all right. Well, again, Merry Christmas to you, Gord. Laura says, if the fractured jaw doesn't happen last year, would that have made a difference in the Bedard legacy? Well, which Michael responds says, no, McDavid had a bad leg injury during his rookie season and came back strong. Wasn't it a collarbone? I mean, didn't McDavid collarbone injury against the Flyers? I think I remember that so well. Maybe he had a second injury, which is what Michael's mentioning here.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I don't think so, Laura. I think that because didn't he still win? He still won the Calder Trophy. Yeah.
And it's this year. I mean, the hype was sky high October 1st, waiting, and it just hasn't gone well. And it's 30 games. So again, not trying to overreact, but like I said, if he finishes this year with 17 goals, and it goes back to, does that mean he's going to be a bad player? No. Could he be? But he is been priced for 3 years as a generational player. And when your generational players don't score 17 goals a year.
They do. Look at the steal somebody got on the McDavid CGC. 1380. That's basically PSA 9 territory, a little bit higher. That's a great buy. I hope someone in here bought that at our advice. And if you choose to cross it, good luck to you. Terp says the O-Pee-Chee Platinum Gold Seismic is on card auto. Yep. LG says Kirill could be Bedard's centerman in 2 years. Sorry, Josh. Yeah. Those are the banner from that's the banners from the team's concourse. Yeah, they give those out at games to a lot of at times certain games they give these banners out. You're saying those are arena banners from the team's concourse. They use a lot of the All-Star game banner. Okay, yeah. Good stuff there. Yes, Chris, they are in US dollars because Fanatics Collect is a US company. As Fanatics is all a US company. Kinger says it's funny. I just found another Young Gun Acetate PSA label. I don't know what you mean by that, Kinger, but labeled as clear cut. There you go. It's at a nice discount. There you go. Yeah, that's a problem, right? Especially if you're the one that subbed that, but maybe you don't even know if you didn't get it reinserted, I suppose. The Professor picked up the 2015 Upper Deck Premier Inkscript Messier Auto 25. Congratulations, Professor. Nice pickup. Terp says Sakic whiteback rookie cards are rare in high grade. Yeah, you're taught. What are those called again? There's a name for that. What's the name of that? It's a stock. It's actually the same card stock that they used for O-Pee-Chee Premier. I just can't think what it's called right now. But yeah, Terp, they don't. There's a name for it. I'm sure you know. They don't call it whiteback. They call it something different, and they are definitely rare. You don't see them very often. The name.
Tiffany?
No, it's not Tiffany, guys. It's something total. It's something different. It's not Tiffany. They only did them 1 year in 89 O-Pee-Chee. It's not 89 Tops. It's 89 O-Pee-Chee. And I can't think of the name of it. And then they took that same stock and made O-Pee-Chee Premier out of it. Hopefully he's not the next Gilbert Brûlé. Why? Gilbert Brûlé Gilbert Brûlé picked up Bono hitchhiking in Vancouver after his car broke down. Literally, Bono from U2 is hitchhiking in Vancouver, and Gilbert Brûlé, then of the probably Edmonton Oilers, I think, picked him up. And Bono talked about it. It was crazy. Ali says, I think Bedard can be like a Jack Hughes. That would be amazing. That'd be great. That'd be great for everybody except early investors. LGC says Macklin Celebrini is greater than Connor Bedard. A lot of people pushing that narrative right now. And right now, I think it's correct. Go back and look at McKinnon first few seasons. He had a dip from seasons 2 to 4 and then hit his peak. Bedard could repeat this. I don't think so. The reason why I say that is because I noticed that career trajectory for big men. And McKinnon is a big man. He's a large human being. Bedard isn't. Now, listen, I'm just making that reference. I'm not saying that this is a rule, but I'm saying I don't see it like Joe Thornton, the same thing. Same thing happened with Joe Thornton. These big guys, sometimes they don't get started until 5 to 6 years into their career, where the smaller guys seem to come out of the gate rocking. And then you have the exceptions like the Crosbys and the McDavids and the Lemieux. So I don't know. I wouldn't.
He did struggle though. So that's a decent comparative if you want to what could a successful Bedard outcome follow? Yeah, McKinnon did struggle, and I'm not enough of a McKinnon expert to know, how good of a skater he was back then. But to me, that's where it's good. How much can Bedard improve on his skating? That seems to be because McKinnon's might be the fastest skater in the one of the fastest skaters in the NHL. He's world class, right? And so I mean that's a huge skill that helped him break through. And not that Bedard doesn't have some great attributes too, but the knock that I keep seeing from people is the worry about his skating. He's just kind of slow.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. All right. It was his collarbone. Professor picked up the 2013 Fleer Showcase Metal Universe Red John Tavares of 75. Yeah, I love the 2013 PMGs, as I call them. I think those are just among the nicest. I prefer them to the like retros in the 2012s. Dog Food Soup created an account for that McDavid Young Gun, but to me the math didn't make sense after buyer's fee and exchange rate. Well, 1380 is still a lot less than 2,500 US, no matter what currency. So it sure makes sense, Chris. I don't know what you missed there, but it definitely does make sense. I think.
Hey,
Mr.
Jeremy, I sorry, I just want to ask a question on that too.
Oh, there
maybe
it is. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, maybe you know the answer to this. I think that like if your goal was to cross that over, given that Fanatics Collect offers all the grading services, they might have been able to do that for you even without you ever having to get the card shipped back to Canada.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. You just tell them, send it to PSA. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's something that I didn't think of mentioning, but I think you're right about that, Josh, for sure. Okay, where was I here? So you created, we called out Tiffany. It was Tembeck. I see it's down here. That's what it was called. That's right. Yes, Michael. It was called Tembeck. Ali confirms. Yeah, that white back Sakic rookie from '89 was called the Tembeck. And you can see why I forgot the name, because Tembeck isn't exactly something that, comes to mind very quickly. Thorson Collectibles in the house. What's going on, Thorson from Minnesota? Mr. Mano says, honestly, going to be grading all my old school hockey. Love the way they look. With whom, Mr. Mano? Are you talking about CGC or are you talking about PSA or someone else? Maybe it was in Edmonton, Chris, where Gilbert Brûlé picked up Bono hitchhiking for sure. Joel Kiviranta, $48. Almost can't slab it for that price. He was hot tonight. Hat trick. Oh, really? Very good. Very good. Ali says there is an awesome YouTube short of McDavid back checking and catching McKinnon and lifting his stick. Gives me the chills. ISA and PSA, Mr. Manos. Interesting to hear ISA. You don't hear much about them at all, but if you like the slab, go for it. Whatever makes you happy. And Chris says, did the McDavid sell for $13.80? All in. That's all in. Once it sells, Chris, the price automatically converts to price plus buyer's premium. So that would have been, like 11 something pre-buyer's premium. Terp says, don't do ISA. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that myself, but I think a lot of people feel that way about it. All right. Well, I think most of these cards have ended. We've been on a bit of a talking spree here. Let's see. Well, still at 460 on the Phil Esposito. Those have all sold. All sold here. I think these had all been sold. The Leech 101 did 456, 2880 on the rookie year enshrinement McDavid, 540 on the Gretzky auto, 75 there. Yeah, we saw those. 504 on the Jack Hughes Premier RPA, 1380 now, of course, on this McDavid. So I'm going to refresh the page and see what it leaves us with, guys. One card, Phil Esposito. Come here. Everything has sold on what was our page 2. 336 on that Crosby and 210 on that one. Yep, 720. We saw all of that. 840, 492, and 300. So we're going to close all these windows, guys. And we are left with Phil Esposito, which if it doesn't get a bid in the next 45 seconds, that will be over. Terp says, do SGC for vintage. Yeah, if you like the holder. Personally, I'm not a fan of the black inlay. I don't like it. That said, I like the company. I like Peter. I think they're great graders. I'll put it to you this way. If SGC had an alternate slab, I would use them a lot. Mm-hmm. I would. If I was getting cards graded, I would use SGC if they had a slab that looked more like the standard slab, like the PSA slab. Obviously it wouldn't look exact, but I just don't like that black inlay at all. Yeah, personally. But Terp is right. SGC is respected in the hobby for vintage. Still only 25 cents. Why pumping Kiviranta? Two of his 3 hat-trick goals were empty netters. That's hilarious. Well, they still count, but yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I wasn't watching, but thanks for pointing that out. Still only. Sundin says, I was bidding on the Leafs for a while, but I should have saved some money for Christmas Boxing Day. Well, hey, that's fair. Sundin, that's fair. Yeah, their graders are on point. Talking about SGC. Only grabbed Young Gun assay for $48. Thought it was funny. And Sundin says, I don't care for the blocky font that SGC uses on their flips. I find it ugly. I don't like anything about the SGC. It's too big. It doesn't fit in your standard grading card box. It doesn't stack well with other slabs. It's just like the ugly duckling of slabs. Too bad because I have a lot of respect for the company and the grading and the leadership and all that. So 480 on the Phil Esposito, but it is still going, Josh. It is still going.
That's good.
Josh, listen, we are on December 22nd. Christmas is 3 days away. New Year's 8 or 9 days away. How are you feeling? Are you taking any time off? Or I don't feel like the Gong Show takes time off. You're going to be trucking right through. I can't say the same for myself. I will not be doing any shows. At least I plan. I'm going to take my computer with me down to my vacation accommodations, and maybe I'll do a show from there. But I'm not planning it. So it'll be bonus if I do. Otherwise, I'm not back on these airwaves until January the 5th, when you and I should be back here doing this exact show yet again. But what about you? Sticking to the usual schedule for the Gong Show?
Yeah, we did work ahead a little bit, though. We're doing part 2 of our masterclass with Bobby Burrell on history of OPG. That's in the can, as they call it, for Thursday, what you guys would call Boxing Day, which I never heard of until a few days ago. So I'm learning all about that. And yeah, so we'll get a little bit of time off due to working ahead. But yeah, we try our best to stick to our schedule.
So any sort of vacation, you doing anything like that?
No, not right now. Just kind of head down and plowing forward. I'm going up northern Minnesota to family, so leaving the day after Christmas.
All right. Well, you mentioned you'd never heard of Boxing Day before, so
no,
I thought, huh?
Yeah, no, never heard of it.
And I've known it my whole life. So I'm thinking, why do they call it Boxing Day? Well, I just asked the question. I got the answer. Boxing Day, celebrated on December 26th, gets its name from a historical tradition in the United Kingdom and other Commonwealth countries, including Canada. The term comes from the practice of giving Christmas boxes, which were gifts, money, or donations to servants, tradespeople, and the poor the day after Christmas.
Okay.
And now it's just a shopping day. Joe Perot calling me lazy. Hey, man, everybody needs up. It's not. I'm just going to be on an airplane one Saturday night, and the other Saturday night I have an event on my vacation. We actually have an event to go to that Saturday night that family thing can't get out of. Dog food too. Boxing Day, the day family gets tired of each other and fist fights break out around the Christmas tree. Michael says, have a happy and wonderful holiday, everyone. And thanks for some great content, Jeremy. Here's a great 2025. Yeah, same to you. Same to everybody out there. Josh, we have a minute left in the Esposito. We might just let that one run. We'll end this show at the top of the hour here at 9 o'clock my time, 10 o'clock yours. But I'll take the opportunity now, Josh, to wish you, your family, the Gong Show community, the Sports Cards Live community, everyone who comes and watches the Fanatics Collect Weekly Hockey Show, and any of the content that I do, wishing everybody just a wonderful holiday season. Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, New Year, wishing everybody a great, healthy, prosperous, successful, hobby, fun 2025. Grateful for everybody that tunes in, listens to all the shows that I'm a part of, including when I get to make an appearance on the Gong Show. Grateful to everybody for that. Todd McDonald, Merry Christmas to you. Thank you. Timepiece. Good. Thank you for being here regularly. Happy New Year and holidays. Happy Festivus to everybody out there. Happy Collectivist to everybody out there. David Marone, you're the best, buddy. Good to see you. Thank you. You have a great holiday as well. Mr. Manos, same to you. Ali, thank you. have a great 2025. Producer Louie, Merry Christmas to you. He's the producer of the Gong Show, guys, but you all know that by now. Laura, what a wonderful educational, entertaining evening these Sundays. Jeremy and guests, happy holiday to you, Laura. Thank you for being a part of the community. Thank you, Joe. I knew you were kidding, buddy. Chris, happy holidays to you. Yelia Williams, happy holidays. Happy New Year. Kinger, happy holidays. Happy New Year to you. Yes, be safe, everybody. Don't drink and drive, guys. Don't do anything and drive. Just drive. Drive sober. I'll put it that way if I can take that opportunity. Yeah.
There you go.
It's a great year, Josh. Thank you for being by my side for probably 45 Sundays during this year. It's always a pleasure spending Sunday evening with you. So thank you, and Happy New Year and holidays to you and your family as well.
Thank you. Right back at you. And yeah, everyone have an awesome time. I think 24 has been kind of an amazing year in the hobby, and I can't wait for 25.
588 on the Esposito PSA 5 rookie, by the way. Jeff McMahon, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm going to, if I'm not doing YouTube content, I will do some Instagram reel type of stuff while I'm away. I have a few ideas, but anyway, guys, that's going to be it. So thank you one final time for a wonderful 2025 or 2024, and looking forward to a wonderful 2025. Thank you, Professor. Happy New Year and holidays to you guys. With that, this episode of the Fanatics Collect Weekly Hockey Auction and Watch Party on December 22nd, 2024, on behalf of myself and Josh of the Gong Show, and the final live stream on Sports Cards Live this year, 2024, is now officially over. Good night, everybody, and Happy New Year.